Is there anything Batman can't do? So this is Brave Sir Robin coming to you from parts unknown. It's been a long time since a lot of you have seen me in action. It just comes down to I can't really make any excuses, just a lack of motivation, but hopefully I should be getting back into doing things once again. I have missed doing these. It's just been hard to get back right into it. And to ease my way in, I'm not doing a DVD review today. I'm going to try something a bit different. I decided that what I'm going to start doing once in a while, I'm going to talk about the top news stories, wrestling related, of the past little while, and talk about them and give some of my opinions on them. So I figured it'd be something new to try, for just to get back into the swing of things as I try to get more motivated to review more DVDs and other wrestling related things. So what I'm going to talk about today, I looked through some wrestling news, and here's what I picked out from the past week, what I consider to be noteworthy stories. One of the first things I found really interesting, TNA news, is that they've announced they're going to be doing TNA Open Fight Night, where they're going to have like various guys come in who are normally on the TNA roster and let them have tryouts once a month. And then they'll be judged by 3 judges, one of which will be Hulk Hogan, and they'll decide who gets a roster spot. There is a catch to this too, where the person coming and making the challenge apparently gets to challenge whoever they want, no matter what, even if it's for a championship. There's a flaw in that, because in character reason, why wouldn't everybody ask for a world title shot? I don't see anybody coming and saying, "Oh, I want the TV title." Nobody gives a rat's ass about the TV title. But it is an interesting thing to try out, though. I mean, it should bring us a new talent we don't normally get to see, and let them have some chances. They actually had good luck with this last year, when, right before I did the Destination X pay-per-view, they had, like, Austin Aries come in, who earned a roster spot, and they brought in some other guys, like Zema Ion and Jack Evans and all that. It actually worked out well that Austin Aries ended up joining the roster, and so maybe this will work out again. I know there's a couple other guys who have had TNA tryouts that impressed, but they've never brought them back, like TJ Perkins, I'm pretty sure did well. He's wrestled there before as Puma, but all the same. And El Generico, I'm told, had a great TNA tryout, and they've never brought him back for whatever reason. So this could be a good chance for these guys. I would like to see them bring in some new guys and bring in some fresh blood. The only catch is that Hulk Hogan's got to be involved, but I don't know. What can you say about that, I guess? Speaking of Hulk Hogan, though, there's also been some Twitter war sort of on the go. Shortly after he was removed from the TNA roster page, Scott Steiner has been posting a lot of inflammatory things regarding Hulk Hogan, Garrett Bischoff, and Eric Bischoff. And he's been saying a few things. I don't disagree with the stuff Big Papa Pump has been saying, but it's kind of beneath him, though, don't you think? Like, that's my opinion on that. I don't disagree with what he's saying about it. I mean, he's talking about the whole Garrett Bischoff storyline being horrible, and how Hulk Hogan and Bischoff aren't really adding anything to TNA, and I agree with that. But Steiner's a legend. It's really beneath him to be doing this. Like, he should be in, like, a special status now, where he shouldn't be on Twitter bashing Hulk Hogan. I mean, what does that get him? Nothing. It's really sad to see him doing it, really. Like you said, I see where he's coming from. He's pissed off, but why does he have to do it? He doesn't need to. I mean, Scott Steiner should be a highly regarded guy. The Steiner brothers were one of the best tag teams of all time. You know, up there with like the Road Warriors and that. I'd put them in my top 3 maybe favorite tag teams. Like, on top, you know, with like the rare breed of like the Road Warriors and the Hart Foundation and the Steiners. There you go, there. So they should be up there. And he had a great singles career where he was the world champion in WCW. He had a little career revival joining TNA, and has some great matches with a few different people that people didn't even expect him to have. So why is he doing this? I really don't get it. Hopefully he gets his head back on straight and doesn't tarnish his legacy or anything like that. It is good. I don't know. He's been doing good for himself in Ring Ka King. I'm assuming that's done with now, though, because that is paid for by TNA. So that's probably the last we'll see of Scott Steiner on a grand stage. I hope this isn't his legacy. So speaking of Hulk Hogan being full of shit, it got revealed a few months ago. Hulk Hogan was on some interview, and he talked about almost being the bassist for Metallica, but he turned it down to dedicate himself to wrestling. Nobody believed him, of course. I mean, that's obvious. But then recently on the Howard Stern show, Lars Ulrich if that's how I pronounce it, was on the show. Sorry, I'm not enough of a metalhead to know their names really well. He was on the show. Howard Stern asked him about it, and he said he didn't even know Hulk Hogan, so there you go. Hulk Hogan got caught in his lie there. I just thought it was funny to point out. Also in TNA-related news, to the surprise of absolutely nobody, Kurt Angle pulled out of his bid to join the new Olympics team for wrestling. Big shocker there. I mean, the guy's crippled and pilled up and all that, so there was no chance in hell of getting on the Olympics team. Though for some reason Dixie Carter on Twitter talks about being heartbroken about this and being really surprised Angle had to pull out. She's really got to be trolling us. Nobody can be as dumb as Dixie Carter makes herself out to be and run a wrestling company, or any type of company for that matter. So that's it for TNA news. In indie, well, I don't really want to call it indie, but in other wrestling related news, I only read this today. During the past week, apparently the new Glow had its debut show and actually ended up being a complete and total disaster. Turned out that none of the talent got paid, or a lot of them didn't. They had to pay for their own lodging after the night. Some of them had to pay for their own trip, like the plane rides and all that stuff. I'm really sad to hear that. There was a lot of great talent involved. We had like Buggy Nova and Taylor Hendricks and Sarah Del Rey, among others there. And they brought back some of the old-timers from Glow, like Tiffany Mellon and a few other ones. So I was kind of curious to check it out. I remember the old Glow. That kind of dates me now, the fact that I do remember Glow. And I looked forward to checking out the new one, see what it'd be like. It can't be worse than WrestleLicious was, so I thought it would be worth checking out the new Glow and see what it would be like, and hopefully make it on future DVDs or something like that. But now that looks to be never happening, which is a real shame. Plus, it was a good chance to get some exposure for the Sarah Del Reys and the type, too, who really deserve it. And who doesn't want to see Sarah Del Rey rapping her way to the ring? So that's it for that indie news. I only have one bit of WWE news. My news was a bit TNA heavy this week, but like I said, these are the stories that interested me the most. In WWE, they started building up a storyline between Mick Foley and Dean Ambrose, aka Jon Moxley from the independent scene, where they had Ambrose showing up at like signings and that Mick Foley was at, and then calling him out for his hardcore legacy and talking about the damage Mick Foley has done to people and stuff like that. I thought that was a really interesting way to bring in Dean Ambrose. I'm sure beats the hell out of NXT rookie who's just really happy to be there. Let the guy talk, because that's one of the things he can do pretty well. But before it even started now Mick Foley's claiming that the angle is done due to Dean Ambrose mentioning Mick Foley's kids on Twitter, and Mick Foley deciding that he doesn't want to go ahead with this angle because he told Dean Ambrose not to do that, and he did anyway. And now figuring he can't have a match with a guy he doesn't trust. Not sure what I think about this. It seems like it's part of an angle even, because Ambrose is still tweeting anti-Foley stuff. So it could be part of the angle anyway, and he will get called back into having a match with him to start off with Dean's first angle here. It would be a shame if it is ended, but it is strange to see Mick Foley reacting this way. I mean, if you remember the classic Kane Dewey promos and stuff like that, and having his kids and his wife sitting in the front row while The Rock is bashing his head in, why would mentioning his kids on Twitter be worse? But I don't know, I'm not there. It would be a shame to put an end to this feud before it even gets on its feet, because it did seem pretty interesting. I'm half wondering, apparently Mick Foley has another children's book coming out. Maybe he didn't want this jeopardized because of they didn't want to have an angle revolve around, oh, Mick Foley's bad for children, so let's kill this now so he can sell his book. I really hope not, but you never know. So that's what I thought to be the top stories of this week. I'd look to come back with doing more of these, maybe on a regular basis. Hopefully people will get into it. I mean, it's something I just thought I'd try to do just to get back into what I was doing before and get back on YouTube or whatever. So there's what it is. Comment sections below. If there's anything you want me to talk about, I will. And I'm thinking of coming back with, I want to talk about WWE's Hall of Fame. I know I'm a few weeks late and it's already happened, but I did this last year and it was actually kind of positively received, so I want to give it a try again. And then talk about like the people who went in this year and give my ideal class for next year. I think that would be fun to do, so that's probably the next thing I'll do, and I'll probably come back with some more news, and hopefully come back with some more DVD reviews, because I know people find them interesting. They go over pretty positively most of the time. So this is Brave Sir Robin signing off. Make sure, if you liked what you saw, make sure you check out my Twitter, check out my Facebook and like it, because that would be greatly appreciated. Follow me on Twitter and make sure you subscribe as well or leave a comment. So until then, Brave Sir Robin signing off. I'll see you next time.